Hi. Everybody building computers! Welcome to HMODS.
Don't wink at them.
I'm winking at you. Okay, well, I'm winking at you because you're looking at the camera. I don't need to welcome you to HMODS. You're already here. Welcome to HMODS.
Oh, yeah. You gotta get swifty! You gotta get swifty in here! It's time to get swifty!
Hey everyone, I got some new merch. There's really nothing more to say except for the fact that I think it's pretty f***ing cool. Yeah, new merch. Go check it out. Oh, I see that cool pint glass. I made that. And I made that too. Ooh, and that. That's, I like that one. So, yeah, go buy some HMODS merch. It let your friends know how cool it is. How cool I am. Or that you think I'm cool, whatever. Yeah, thanks.
So this is probably part 6 or part 7 of this computer build, and I'm really think we'll be able to finish it today. And that's because off camera I ran the GPU cables through. If you want to get in there, I ran the GPU cables through the hard drive compartment. So now I'll be able to run them to the GPU pretty damn easily. So with this problem taken care of, now I can run the motherboard cables one by one. So that'll be fun. The AIO has ARGB on it. So instead of running the hub that came with it, I theorized that I can just connect it to the up here hub and have zero f***ing problems. So that's what we're going to do once we connect this, which is going to be last. So we got our SATA cables. This is going to run. This will probably just have to run with a single strip of tape. Otherwise I can run it up another one. This thing came with a lot of SATA cables. That's pretty cool. All these came with the fucking case. So first thing we gotta do is connect. Oh, it came off.
Why did you pull out the cables that you already ran through?
What do you mean?
You pulled them back through the case.
Oh, because the only ones that are doing that, this is the CPU cable, which is going this way. The GPU cables are fine.
Okay.
But the CPU cables are coming up this way, and the motherboard cable has to go in this way. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to connect the motherboard cable. See how it looks like that? That actually doesn't look too bad, but we're going to fix that anyway. So now that we've got all that going, now the job is to... I have to run every cable onto this tape individually so that I can get the shape and the path that I want. It's got kind of like this nice kind of up thing to it, but I would really rather it kind of come out like this. It won't really look at its best until every single cable is run, but it's going to look pretty sweet. And I have to make sure to keep my thumb where the curve is so that I can keep it in shape. This takes a long time, but it ends up looking super sweet. See, I've got my finger right here, which is holding onto the cable so that I don't pull it too much. Yeah, the top ones are going to be really easy to do, but right now isolating all of them, all of the bottom ones, is keys, so I have to pull the top ones just a tad to find out where the next one is. So I've got there he is. I don't know what the hell I'm going to do with this just yet. Hopefully it curls to the point where it can just go like that, and you're not going to see much of it with the panel on. But we'll see. Got the first layer situated. What I'm going to do is I'm going to well, I haven't decided if I'm going to apply double stick tape to this side yet. But the next objective is to put double stick tape on this side and run it along the same path. So this will be fun. Taking off the cable combs was a good idea because now I can just stick this in there one wire at a time, and it'll actually go in.
Are you gonna put tape down there to stick it to?
Inside there? No, it wouldn't do anything. But this definitely helped. But once I attach the other cables, these will all stay in line anyway. You have to, in order to get this, you have to do it a lot. Because otherwise it's just gonna slide around whenever the f it wants to, and you really need to get as much tape on these things as possible, because otherwise it just won't work. And thankfully we've got lots of this stuff, so especially for the top layer, you want, for this kind of thing, since you're not even going to see it using, I mean, yes, it's expensive, but the result speaks for itself. It's going to look fucking awesome. And just for the ride, we'll put some right down the bottom here too. Because that'll keep these cables, that'll keep these wires in check too. So we'll just put it right there on the end. And you wouldn't think that this stuff sticks to the cables very easily, but you notice I pulled that right off. And if you really want to get scissors or cutters that cut this stuff like butter, I got these scissors at Joann Fabrics. They're actually for sewing, and they work really well. They're expensive as also. These things I think cost me like 30 bucks, but they are sharp as a tack. And by now you probably can understand why up until now we edited a lot of this out, and that's because it takes so long. But it does end up looking super slick.
You're still editing out the redundant parts, right?
Oh yeah.
Like the boring stuff?
Yeah. If I edited out all the boring stuff, there wouldn't be any videos. Gotta make sure it's on top of the other one. And there we go. Now if I could just find a way to shove all this underneath the power supply, I know what I can do. Again, not a fan of using zip ties, but in this instance it is instrumental because I'm going to use a bigger one. Because this will drag the cables back to where they need to go. And it'll make it a hell of a lot easier to get the side panel back on. I'm not going to tighten it like super tight, but I am going to make it so that these cables will go back. Because otherwise it's just going to make things really, really difficult to get the side panel back on, and also it makes it really difficult to work with it later. But look at how gorgeous that is. How much would it suck if when I hit the power button it doesn't turn on? And now we run the CPU cables, which will be relatively easy compared to everything else. Because really, after I connect this, all I've got to do is find a way to run them, and that's going to be super easy. Barely an inconvenience. The good thing about the length on this is if I can make it, I can run these invisibly, or at least very not so visibly on this. Because what I can do is I can run it like this. And that'll look super frickin' expialidocious, that's for sure. For this, I think I'm just gonna splurge and run a whole strip down this way. Because that way I can just run them right next to each other. That looks good! Yes, sir. Look at that! We'll run this on top, but first we're gonna have to run this one. Again, making sure to keep the curls the same way. Because everybody loves those pretty little curls. Looks good, and looks good. Numero 3. For this one, since it doesn't need to, since it's nowhere near as intricate as this, I'm not laying so many strips. Plus, it's just straight, and so it's not going to be that much of a hassle. That's gonna look so good.
Some of these things are really hard to get a good angle.
Yeah, no, I'm sorry. I wish I was.
It's not really anything you can help because it's where your hands have to be at in relation to the rest of the.
Yeah.
It's too bad I can't like green screen your hands to be able to see through them. It's not how it works.
I could green screen some chickens on top of my hands. That would be great. Or like a squirrel eating. That's how you run cables. And yes, it takes 6 hours, but you cannot argue with the result. I'm super fucking happy with this. And the length of the EPS cables came out perfectly, because now I can just tuck them like that, and the door panel will go on very nicely, and you won't be able to see anything underneath this. Okay, now it's time to get the GPU in and put the top panel on. I tried to get him to buy a newer one, but that'll happen later this year when he sends it back for me to do a custom water loop.
It's gonna be this year.
He says Christmas. Show me potato salad. Oh, I can do that. I'll do like what I did with Was it the Maverick or the Wraith? I'm going to run the cables like this and make sure they have a good run. So for this, I'll do them like that, and I'll actually use more tape. I'm glad we didn't put the top panel on.
Looks nice too. Are you gonna tape it together?
I don't have to. I just did.
Okay.
All right, so this is it. This thing will run. So now we're gonna put on the top panel, we're gonna attach the AIO, and we're gonna cut to the upstairs where you will see the finished product. Let's fucking do this.